Hello and welcome back to the channel. Just got off the hop on hop off bus, you know I like to use those, and we are now on Cascade Road, I believe. And if you go to any bar in Tasmania, then you will, pretty much any bar, the bars I've been to anyway, they all have Cascade lager and Cascade ales and all sorts of Cascade goodies. So I thought it'd be a good idea to come to Cascade Brewery. We'll see if we can go on a tour as well. It's got some beautiful gardens around here. They're not over there, but we will visit them. I think they're over there to our right. But over to the left is the very impressive building. And there we are. Cascade Brewery, founded in 1824. I think it's the oldest brewery in Australia, if I remember rightly. What you'll see, by the way, at the front of the brewery itself is that bell, erected, as it said, 1874. And ever since that bell was installed, every worker would get 15-minute breaks, and they'd ring that bell every time there's a 15-minute break. And the workers here at the brewery got to sample all of the beers that they wanted within that 15 minutes, 4 times a day. That happened all the way through until 1993, until the brewery was taken over. And they didn't like the drinking on site, but they had to compromise because all the workers decided to strike. So as a compromise, they got to take home a beer of their choice every week, a case of it, and also every Friday that bell rings, and between 4 and 6 o'clock they can go over to the main bar over there and drink as much beer as they want in those 2 hours every week. I think that's a pretty good compromise. 15-minute breaks 4 times a day. They must have been absolutely sloshed back in the day, pre-1993. Wow. I think that's better, isn't it? Friday, 2 hours, drink what you want and take a case per week home with you. That's fair enough. So just opposite is this. They've got some beautiful gardens here. We'll have a look around those in a bit. Tours and tastings. That sounds good to me. And a bar there to relax in. So today is a Wednesday, so they're open 12 o'clock till 9. Time now 5 to 12. Over 200 years. Wow. Let's head through the front entrance. Welcome. Greeted immediately by loads of merchandise. Keep your ales, beers, lagers, stouts cold. Bitters. Cascade Draft, that's very popular. Even have a Cascade cap. And this is where you can sample the various delights of Cascade. Oh, a lovely warm fire. A place to relax. Can you imagine yourself here, sat with some kind of beverage, good company, fire? What more could you want? Definitely recommend a visit to Tasmania, Hobart and the Cascade Brewery. And you can walk off all of the calories by going outside in the beautiful gardens. And we'll do that. You have to use this door. The other door, I think, has got broken glass. And there we go, it's looking back into the bar itself. And I have to talk here because there's music, so we need to try and talk and not get copyright striked. La 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 la. About that for a beautiful fountain. Fountain there with a backdrop of Cascade Brewery itself. Apparently Hobart in Australia is the second driest city in Australia. The driest being Adelaide, which surprised me because I heard that on the bus. And I'd have thought Red Centre was the driest. But anyway, what do I know? Go for a walk through the gardens. We are joined by a friend. Are you a friendly friend? Oh, you are. Beautiful. Have you liked? Have you subscribed? Oh, he's going to do it now. That's it. Yep, click like. That's it. And subscribe. Brilliant. Well trained. Should have asked him about the notification bell. So it's not the best of days weather-wise today, but we had brilliant sunshine yesterday. That was when we went to Mount Wellington. You can see that on a previous video, if you haven't seen that already. The views, outstanding. Face full of cobwebs. Hopefully they're not dangerous spiders here. We're only in Australia, Tasmania.
We also have a tennis court. So we haven't really decided. But another flat space, potentially put something up on there as well if we want to start using all of it. But I reckon between, when you're doing standing, 120 down there, there's one. Sit down, I reckon. And then if you wanted to use both all together, you can search it on the door.
There we go, a quick tour of the gardens here at Cascade Brewery. And let's now see if we can go on a tour. So we're at the Tours and Tastings building now. I'm going to book a tour here. All sorts of other memorabilia. Seating, but no fireplace this time. This gives a little history of Cascade Brewery, and 1824 was when it was built. Sorry about the reflections, by the way. But yeah, built in 1824. If you're wondering on the front of the building what the 1927 is, and I was as well, what that date is, it was rebuilt in 1927. Alterations undertaken in 1926, completed in 27. And we've now booked the tour. It's 12:15 at the moment, and my tour is at 12:30. Takes about an hour and a quarter, and the price was 38 Australian dollars, which isn't too bad. You even, after the tour, get free products as well. Free samples of Cascade ale, lager, so I look forward to that. We'll do the tour as well. By the way, you cannot drink if you go on one of these tours. You can't drink before, can't drink during, but you can drink as much as you like afterwards, within reason, of course, and please drink responsibly. It's very tempting, though, with a bar right in front of me to sample the products already of Cascade, but no. Tour first.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to Cascade. So today we're going to be going into the brewery, having a look around, and also mostly talking about the beer making process, how we make our beer here at Cascade. So because we're going into a 200-year-old building and active work site, we do all have to dress appropriately. So I'm going to get everybody to grab themselves a hard hat, a set of safety glasses from that top drawer over there, and also just a high-vis as well from one of the drawers in there. If you have prescription glasses and you'd rather wear those instead, don't worry about safety glasses, but just make sure you got one of everything and some sort of eye protection when we go in. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to get all kitted up.
Don't laugh, I'm all geared up. There we go, the start of an hour and a quarter tour.
Alrighty, so once again, welcome to Cascade, everybody. So where's everyone now travelling from? London. London, wow, that's very, very far.
Jersey, UK.
Oh, wow, we're too international. So you guys said Brisbane? Yeah, nice. Hopefully this cold Tassie weather isn't too harsh on you guys.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, well, I'm going to start off the tour today by actually asking you guys a bit of an Australian history question. No stress if you don't know what the answer is. But a long time ago, in the 1800s, when we first opened as a business, Tasmania was actually known by a different name at the time. Does anybody know what it was? Van Diemen's Land, yes, spot on. So that was a name that was going pretty rampant at the time, particularly in the UK, because the government down here was looking for businesses to come down and set up shop in Tasmania or Van Diemen's Land, because essentially there was nothing really going on in terms of like a city, a major city or anything in the state. We're going to head up the road a little bit, find a little safe spot to cross over before we head back down and then head into the brewery in a second. Down here, you can have a look over to the side over there and you see some of our old advertising signs for some of the cordial. Don't know if anybody's ever seen Cascade cordial I think they stopped making it a while ago here. There's only a couple that you can really get these days. I think it's kind of just lemon lime bitters and ginger beer, and unfortunately we don't even make those here anymore. So in 2014 Coca-Cola actually bought that side of the business out, so these days we only deal with alcohol here instead, which I'm kind of glad about. It means we've got our focuses and our priorities right these days, not bothering with the cordial anymore. we head into the brewery. I'm going to get everyone to chuck on their glasses if you haven't already got them on. And also, just from this point on, I'm going to have to say cameras and phones and stuff always. Just can't take any photos or videos while we're inside of the brewery, just for privacy reasons for some of our workers in there. We've got some pictures of them and some of their families and stuff all about, so just don't want that getting out. Also got a few like secret recipes laying about and things that obviously we don't want the public really to see, to be able to replicate. But anyway, also please refrain from clicking any of the buttons, pulling any of the levers. I know it's very, very tempting, but we don't really want the place to kind of fall apart around us. But anyway, we'll head on in.
So you can't film, have to leave it there. Back with you in a minute.
We recommend starting furthest from the handle side with our lightest on the paddle. So that is our Cascade lager to start with, and we recommend finishing up with the stout. Otherwise, you can drink them in whatever order you like, but the stout just kind of taints the palate for the rest of them. You can't really get rid of the flavour in your mouth after you start with the stout. It's just quite intense, so we recommend drinking them in that order, kind of going lightest through the heaviest. But starting on the lighter side, we have our Cascade lager, which is a very traditional kind of crisp, yeast kind of heavy lager. The next one along is the Cascade Draft. I refer to this one essentially as the lager's older brother. It is very, very similar style, very similar flavour profile and process that it goes through. The main difference is instead we're using some of those crystal malts in there instead. The next one along is my personal favourite, which is the Cascade Pale Ale. This is that one that I was talking about earlier, but in reality should probably be called the Cascade Pale Lager because that's what it actually is. We've been brewing this one for 192 years, and the whole time we've been brewing it, there's only one thing that we've changed about it, which is just the alcohol content. It used to come in a whopping 12%, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of the beers used to be very, very strong back in the day. Obviously can't do that these days, and instead it comes in at 6% instead now, a bit tamer these days. But the next one along is, of course, the stout. This is a little bit different from your traditional stouts. It has all the typical flavours that you would expect to find in a stout. I feel like the comparison that most people often go to with stouts is going to be Guinness. So that's what I like to talk about to compare it to. Guinness is a very kind of thick, hefty sort of drink. It has some nice flavours going on in there, but you do drink a pint of Guinness, it kind of feels like you've just eaten half a loaf of bread or something. It sits very, very heavily in your gut. This one doesn't do that because we filter it out just as much as we filter all those other beers. It has a lot lighter, a lot more refreshing sort of quality to it. Instead, it still has, of course, the traditional flavours of a stout, so that nice savoury bitterness as the main kind of flavour coming through with kind of notes of coffee and dark chocolate most people kind of pick up on in there. And feel free to head down to the bar and restaurant afterwards. We've got a hell of a lot of other drinks and stuff that you can try down there that I highly, highly recommend giving a go, especially if you like the stout. I think we're on to our last couple of barrels. We have a barrel-aged stout that we made a little while back, which we got gifted some old whiskey barrels that we then aged some of our stout in for about 8 months. Soaked up a lot of those flavours from the whiskey. Also soaked up the alcohol content, so it comes in a whopping 10% now because it's got all that alcohol from the whiskey in there. But if you're a fan of whiskey and you're a fan of stout, I highly, highly recommend trying it. It's absolutely beautiful, it's delicious. I quite like this stout, but I definitely like that barrel-aged one a little bit better. I'm about to run out of it, so you better get in if you do like that while you can. But anyway, come let us know if you have any more questions about anything. But thank you everybody for coming along on the tour today. You've been a great group. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in Tasmania as well. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit. But thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
What's the volume of these glasses?
Oh, they're 5 ounce. So yeah, all up, I think it's about 2.4 standards in all of the drinks.
Time then to get tasting. So first of all, the lager. Now I'm never going to say that doesn't taste very nice. I like any lager. Like that. This is the draft. The draft's even better. I prefer the draft so far. And now our next one, pale ale, but it's really a pale lager. Okay, that now tops my favourite, but I'm a big fan of stout. So finally, let's try the stout. That's a very good stout. Right, leave me to it. I'm going to finish all these and then get down to the bar and have some more. Drink responsibly.
Here we are.
Lovely. Oh, I'll tell you what, this is the life, isn't it? After all that beer, I think I may have a sleep.